Rafael Leao makes his decision. Mason Mount meets with Arsenal. Two managers refuse to talk with Chelsea for one reason. Have a guess. Yes, Todd Boehly and co.'s defined schedule and way of operating the club. And finally, Mateo Kovacic and Ruben Loftus-Cheek look set to be leaving the club. Let's break this down. Let's enjoy this. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Kavkas View. In today's video, you got the running order. You know what we're talking about. You know how quick it's going to be. Around about 12 to 15 minutes, and you're going to enjoy it. So we need to get the admin out the way. Can you hit the like button? We're aiming for 1,000 likes on this video. Number 2, subscribe to the channel because you're evidently enjoying the content. Number 3, in the pinned comment is my Instagram. We're uber close to 1,000 followers. Go follow me there. Hit me up with any football related questions you have, any videos you want me to talk about, and any news and articles that you lot see that I think it would be good for me to cover in a video. Now that I said that, it's time for the rest of the video. Gazzetta dello Sport, what a great name for a newspaper by the way, is reporting that Rafael Leao has decided to stay at AC Milan. Rafael Leao has been linked with Chelsea, linked with Real Madrid, linked with Manchester City, you name it, there are clubs evidently searching to get this player's signature. But it looks like he has finally decided where he's going to locate his future for the foreseeable future, and that's Milan. So what's been going on and why has Leao's saga been so interesting? Well, Leao came out of the Sporting Lisbon Academy, right? He came out of there, he was very talented, very good. Then they lost the game and the fans broke into the training ground and decided to punch up the players. All right, that's just as simple as playing. Bastos got a busted lip and a bunch of agents used that as a reason for their players to get out of Lisbon without a fee. He ended up going to Lille, then he signed for Milan. Since then, Lisbon have sued all those players and essentially players owe money to Sporting Lisbon. So this brings us to today. Milan don't want to pay the money to Sporting Lisbon. Lille don't want to pay the money because they no longer own his rights. So the individual that owes the money is Rafael Leao. Chelsea were willing to pay off the rest of the fee. Todd Boehly got that cash, you know, because Todd Boehly bops in like he's in a strip club just throwing money around. Anyone that wants money, Todd Boehly's giving a handout. He's like Drake in God's plan, just handing out money to anyone and everyone. But Leao didn't want his money. Leao apparently is willing to stay at Milan because he believes that this is the right move for his career. He believes that this is the right time for him to develop and not chase the bag, and more importantly, not sit on the bench. He believes there's too much competition at Chelsea and too much competition at Real Madrid, and he just needs consistent minutes. What do I think on the situation? I think bravo, marvelous, absolutely fabulous. Whoever his agent is, brother, get yourself another 10%. I know he owes Sporting Lisbon 19 million, but you know what? You deserve this because you actually did what's best for your client here. It would have been very easy for them to accept the bag and stagnate his development. But the reality is, by Leao staying at Milan, nothing changes. Leao gets to be the face of a team, in a team that is competitive, that hopefully next year again can go and win the league, that could potentially get to a Champions League final. And if anything, this Champions League final has generated more funds for them to invest into more players, to surround Leao with better quality, to make him more competitive. So Leao gets to be somewhere he's comfortable and just develop. I've watched Leao a lot this. I like watching the Serie A, and I follow Roma, Napoli and Milan closely, and Lazio because of Maurizio Sarri. And one thing I've noticed about Leao is very inconsistent. He'll have patches of 5 games where he's phenomenal, and then he'll have patches of 5 or 6 games where he looks like he's shocked. He's not ready for the big move. He needs to be somewhere where he can develop, where he can nurture his skills, hone it in. Remember, he's only 21 years old. He doesn't need the additional pressure. In my opinion, this is the smartest move he could have done. The move to Chelsea, the move to Madrid will always be there for him. He's that good, I've got no doubt. Story number 2, it looks like Chelsea are on the vibe of getting rejected left, right and centre today, because it's come out that 2 managers apparently have refused to communicate with Chelsea about the new role that is available. So we know that Chelsea are looking for a new manager. It's set to be Maurizio Pochettino, or as I like to call him, Mopo. Mopo looks set to take the job. There's a meeting tomorrow in LA with Todd Boehly, Iqbali, Stewart, Winstanley and what's his name, Baville. That's what the reports are coming out. We'll cover that in tomorrow's video with more news on Joao Felix's future and a new sponsor that Chelsea could potentially be getting. So that's for tomorrow. Make sure you tune in for that. But today's video, the Frankfurt manager, I don't know his surname because I can't pronounce it, so I'm going to call him Marcus. That's his first name. Bild is reporting that he has no intention to even talking to Chelsea. The man's agents didn't even want to talk to Chelsea. They didn't want to communicate. They did not want to negotiate. The man is happy at Frankfurt. He thinks he's doing a great job. And to be fair, he has been doing a good job. They won the Europa League. They're now they got out of the group in the Champions League, and they're building something that they should be proud of. This is a team with a very small budget. This is a team that is doing it their way. They've got very good young players. They've got a striker that could be going for 100 million euros. So why would he leave to join a club like Chelsea at this moment in time, some would ask. And for me, I think it's responsible again. Look, it's stipulated within the Bild article that 8 sources close to the manager have said he doesn't believe that the plan at Chelsea at the moment is optimal. And this is so true. Nagelsmann rejected us for this reason. Enrique had certain demands which were not met. This manager is saying the same thing. And now Schmidt, or whatever his name is, the Austrian manager that's at Benfica, who's automated a very good season at Benfica in the sense that he put in a nice structure. They got to the last 8 of the Champions League. They were very good prior to the World Cup and prior to selling Enzo Fernandez. I think they lost 1 game until a couple weeks ago, but then they lost 3 in a row. And they're still going to win the league and most probably do the double. He's not interested in a row either. He thinks that there's too much volatility at the club and it's almost a poison chalice. Guys, this is the issue. We got so many players accompanied with so many individuals that are uncertain about their futures that looking from the outside in, it doesn't look like a very appealing job at the moment. It doesn't look like a role where you can come in and actually flourish and generate the correct amount of resources at your facilities to ensure you're going to achieve something great. It's not like that. So I don't blame people for rejecting the job, but I do think Mauricio Pochettino was the best candidate available, and we're going to break that down tomorrow. Now an update of 3 players' futures that is very interesting because it's something that needs to be communicated. Number 1, Mateo Kovacic. Mateo Kovacic has got 12 months left on his deal, and a lot of people are getting really frustrated with the fact that it looks like he is unhappy at the club. A lot of people have said, what has he got to be unhappy about? He's the one putting in the rubbish performances. Others have said, Mateo Kovacic, please sign, please sign, please sign. I'm in the camp of, I think it's time to move him on. Nazir Kinsella from, I think it's goal.com, if I'm not mistaken. He has, or the Evening Standard, he must have moved jobs. He's reporting that Mateo Kovacic looks set to leave. Thomas Tuchel is heavily pushing for the move. Manchester City are inquiring. And there are numerous other clubs in Italy that are keen to acquire his services. And the reality is, Kovacic is 28 years old. And he's a very good player. He's complete, comfortable on the ball, dribbles out of trouble a lot. The problem is he's very unproductive in the final third, if some would say. He's not very good with the final pass. He's not very reliable when it comes to striking the ball. He's not very reliable when it comes to contributing to assists. He goes through one-on-one. You could put a good large sum of money on him missing because he can't finish. But he's a very good player and we don't need to disrespect him. The reality is sometimes in life there are 2 ships. You're on one and the other entity's on the other. And sometimes you have to go in separate ways and there's no hard feelings. And this is exactly it. Mateo needs to move on, in my opinion. We need to get wages off the books and we need to generate some funds. If we can get around about 20 to 25 million pounds for a player of his quality with 12 months left on his deal, in the prime of his career from Bayern Munich, magnifico, works perfectly on the budget. Next story is about Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Ever since we whooped AC Milan home and away under Graham Potter, Milan have really got a little fetish for Ruben Loftus-Cheek. Literally, they've been sniffing, they've been searching, and they've been chasing the man. They've actively been looking. Like, they've inquired about him on a few occasions. Real Madrid apparently have also inquired about getting his services, and Ruben Loftus-Cheek could be potentially moving on. Personally, I wouldn't sell him. I genuinely think Ruben is a utility player that is needed in the squad. He's come out of the youth academy. He can play numerous positions, whether you want him to play in CDM, CM, right wing back, or even if you want a CAM. It's a player that just fits so many different avenues of a team. He's very good in possession. He's strong. He carries the ball well. He's intelligent. He picks up spots that whether you're playing a deep block that make us difficult to beat, or he can just explosively like play a nice expansive style of football. So for me, we should be trying to keep him because he helps with the homegrown quota for me as well. But Milan are chasing him. It's going to be one to keep an eye on. And the final story is about Mason Mount. Mason Mount looks set to be leaving the club, and that is because he can't agree a deal. He's had his surgery. The surgery went well, but now reports are coming out from the Telegraph that Mason Mount met with Arsenal. So we've heard that he's been having ongoing negotiations with Liverpool, and we also know that he's had inquiries from Manchester City, Bayern Munich, and United, but none of that is concrete. None of that is to the point and as advanced as the Liverpool stories that are coming out. The Liverpool stories are a little bit more firm. We're starting to hear numbers, and we're starting to get an indication whether he would want to go and what he would be receiving for going. But now a story's come out that Arsenal and him have been discussing. We know that Declan Rice is in talks with Arsenal. This is something we've been hearing rigorously. And we also know, and this is the biggest part, that him and Mason Mount are very good friends. I would not be surprised if they'd want to play together. I would not be surprised if in their head they believe that this is the right move for their careers to be united and reunited together in the red of Arsenal. If Mount wants to move on, I've got no issue. £60 million, please, and we'll just sign it off the FFP. Perfectly fine. Guys, I checked the other day. We have a squad of 42 players, including the players on loan, and that includes $208 million of a wage bill. That is ridiculous. That's not including Malo Gusto, and that's not including Nkunku coming in. So we're going to have to lower that wage ASAP. That's just the reality. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you enjoyed this video. And more importantly, subscribe to make sure that you don't miss the video tomorrow on Chelsea's new potential sponsor. Joao Felix news about him re-signing at the club, because apparently it's happening. And finally, there's extra news about the meeting with what happened in LA and when is Mauricio Pochettino going to be announced. Peace out. I'm out. Hasta luego. Bye-bye.